Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining in on today's webinar. My name is Julian. I'm excited to walk you through Mission Control and give you that high-level overview of what we do on our side as a native PSA on the Salesforce App Exchange. Um, let me just wait maybe a couple more seconds before everyone else strolls in, and so I could pull up a quick deck I'd like to bring you guys through before jumping into our discussion. There we go. So I'll be keeping an eye on the questions throughout today's webinar. If I could answer them, throughout the conversation, I definitely will try. Um, if not, I will definitely be able to um, follow up. There you go. Follow up as required. Issues over here. There we go. So, excited to kind of give you guys this walkthrough of Mission Control. As I mentioned, I do have a journey that I'm hoping to kind of go through for today's discussion. If you do have any questions, thoughts, ideas, anything that really comes to mind, let me know in the chat. I'll try to speak to them right away, and if not, I'll reach out directly after our discussion. So, in terms of myself, my name is Julian. I'm the account executive here at Mission Control. How we run things here at Mission Control is our account executives also double as sales engineers. So, I manage America East and all of Europe and Middle East. Um, and basically, am able to help our clients or prospects or even current customers kind of enable them in being able through PSA from first touch point to handoff to our success and service team. We have Josh who manages um, APAC and America West, and we have Lexi who probably one of our most senior success people on our team who has joined our account executive side who will be taking on some more space as time comes on. Also, we have Corey, who is our trusted and faithful CRO. He's an amazing resource, and he really kind of helps and he enables customers to kind of get the most value out of our sales and success team. Along with Colin, who is our founder and CEO, a very familiar face within the Salesforce ecosystem. And we have Victor Padroni, who is our service leader. So oftentimes before we kind of go, before that exciting moment when a contract is signed, we often like to bring in Victor earlier on into a sales process because he leads our service team, and we kind of like to introduce everyone to our service leader as basically he's the person you'll be working closely with and his team post um, post sale. So starting off with kind of what we are and what we do. We are a solution that's native to Salesforce in terms of Salesforce licensing. You can use this with every single Salesforce license. Typically, we prefer enterprise and above, but we are able to use this with professional edition. Just that there are some slight limitations on the Salesforce side based on sites and automations. And the core benefit to using Mission Control is essentially the same core benefit to using Salesforce. The kind of the freedom and custom fields, the business logic, workflows, all that fun stuff. The same interaction you could kind of have with Mission Control, the same interaction you would be able to have with Salesforce. So in terms of the high levels of the whys, what's happening here? What the hell is happening? Hold on. I don't know what's happening here. In terms of the high levels of the whys of Mission Control, uh, this doesn't make sense. In terms of the whys of Mission Control is basically that we are native to Salesforce. So and we are a series of custom objects that live in your environment. Think of Mission Control as project management layer within your Salesforce instance. Like you'll never need to sign into Mission Control. By signing into Salesforce, you have access to all of our functionality, all of our features, and that is and that's it really speaks to the amount of reporting you can have as well. So every data point, every record I'll be showing you today can be reported on within native Salesforce reporting. Everything works out of the box. We're a fairly robust solution. The idea is we want you to use as much of it as possible within our three major releases a year. Our product is always growing, but the idea is focus on what you need and kind of drown out what you don't. Um, Very few companies use 100% of our solution, maybe other than ourselves. But the idea is focus on what's important, hide what isn't, and then basically grow into the rest of the solution over time. Uh, we're more than happy to kind of, let's say, help you grow through this process, and basically even kind of get started, maybe even with a crawl, walk, run. Which speaks to our implementation. It's fairly quick and painless. Because we're a managed package on the App Exchange, one click from click and get it now on our App Exchange downloads us directly into your environment, either in sandbox or production. We have no guardrails. If you were to go do it right now, you would download directly into your environment. Um, what onboarding, what implementation really is kind of configuring layouts, workflows. There's many ways to achieve the same outcome in mission control. And what we try to do is really work with you to identify what is that workflow that's perfect for an individual, a group, and also a team, or maybe your whole organization. We do have fantastic learning collateral. So in terms of knowledge base, I think just under 700 articles. We have a learning portal that's not even Trailhead. We have our own proprietary learning portal that your team members could become PM certified or admin certified within specific to mission control. We have two webinars monthly. We have amazing videos, campfires, amazing collateral online. So to help your team or yourselves get up to speed on mission control. And if that's not enough, we have an amazing support team that's international. So our headquarters is in Australia. I'm personally in Canada. Most of my success team is in the US. So as close as possible to 24-hour support, we do have. Um, and yeah, I really big fan of our success team. In terms of NPS scoring, we do fare higher than our worthy rivals, which really kind of speaks to the caliber and quality of our success team. If you were to go on our App Exchange listing and look at our reviews, they're comical how good they are, and it really just speaks to the kind of say the amount of effort and focus and the care that our success team provides to a lot of our prospects and customers. Now, in terms of getting started, if you were to ask my support team or success team or service team, what is our goal for phase one completes? It's typically between 45 to 90 days. Now, if you look at the reality of things, it's closer to it's within the first month. Typically, I think above 85% of our customers are live within the first month. So really that also just speaks to the nature of our how out of the box we are. In terms of features and functionalities, I think we have benefit to no one if I were to go through every single thing you see here today. I definitely can. I could definitely start feature dumping all day. I'll try not to, but just shows you basically we do have a fairly robust solution. So what we are as a PSA, really kind of marrying three ideas together: um, project management, resource management, and time. Having these three concepts intimately connected within your Salesforce instance that you are able to report on every data point, every record within these three ideas does give your team a crazy amount of visibility within forecasting, reporting, breaking down silos, better understanding, let's say, the profitability and success of projects, or even success of team members within projects, making sure everyone's hitting their billable target. Um, More than happy. I'm not going to be speaking to every single thing you see here today, but if there is something that interests you, if there is something that really you want me to jump further into, reach out to there's going to be some emails sent out after. Reach out to ourselves, the appropriate account executive, or even reach out to me, Julian Ricciardi at aprica.com. I'm more than happy to kind of help you, guide you through anything that could be of interest. Now, brief history on our firm. We've been on the App Exchange for just under 15 years. No part of our solution has ever been acquired. meaning our CTO and our CEO are the actual founders of Mission Control. Um, Project management, consulting is in our DNA. So historically, we were an SI implementing Salesforce, and then the product was kind of necessity breeds innovation. So Colin and Chris built our cohort, our CEO and CTO. They've built the tool based on our own requirements, our own needs, and kind of developed the tool over the last 15 years based on what the market needs, what our customer needs, and basically just helping teams deliver better projects. In terms of we use this solution to run our full business. So above and beyond professional service and let's say customer facing projects, imagine onboarding employees, offboarding employees, control processes, internal projects. If you're booking a vacation for your team, you could use Mission Control to kind of say plan that out within your HR team. So there's multiple ways you are able to use Mission Control, and we're more than happy to educate and elaborate on how you yourself or customers like yourself or prospects like yourself can use that as well. So, in terms of customers who use us, we do have a lot of amazing logos that use Mission Control. There are some even not even better, but there are some other amazing logos that I'd love to speak into, but NDA says I can't, that also use Mission Control. We have some amazing case studies online. If let's say if we have get into conversation and you ask me, hey, look, I'd like to speak to some one of these logos, more than happy to set up that conversation when the time comes. Just because we have champions all over the world and more than happy to kind of connect them with others people. Oop. So with that being said, um, let's jump into things. I had a bit of a corrupted file earlier. That's why my first deck went down. But let's kick things off and have some fun here. So this is Mission Control. I can share this over here. Perfect. Awesome. So this is Mission Control. Um, as I mentioned earlier, basically it might look familiar because this is actually Salesforce. There's no separation. You'll never need to sign into Salesforce, never need to sign into Mission Control. By signing into Salesforce, you have access to all of our objects and features. And we seamlessly interact with everything. Where is it? Hold on. We seamlessly interact with all your Salesforce objects. Like if you see on the top bar over here, you have dashboards, home, accounts, contacts, opportunities, leads, which are all core Salesforce functionality. Then you start to see some mission control features like projects, timesheet, scheduler, Gantt chart, meeting manager, and all this fun stuff down here. Now, and in terms of, let's say, an individual contributor or even within an organization, do you need to have access to all of this? Probably not. Which is why, let's say, having an interface that looks a little bit closer to this probably would make a lot more sense. We're just focusing on, let's say, projects, actions, dashboards, a Kanban board, and a Gantt chart. Will realistically be like kind of the reality of an individual contributor or someone who kind of really leverages mission control. Now, before I jump into the meat and potatoes, the fun stuff over here, what I kind of want to do is do a quick fundamentals. Kind of show you into my own role record. So, what is a role? A role is an individual who's assigned to a project, has some data behind them, is associated to milestones, takes time off, has a bill rate, cost rate, all that fun stuff that's really kind of in core to successful PSA. So let's say jumping into my own role record over here, what we could see is that basically my name's Julian. I'm a project manager. I have my email, contact information, all that fun jazz. Then you could see that I work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, which rolls up to 40 hours. So this is all flexible. This doesn't need to be these many hours. If you're working less or more, you can really set that up. But why this is important is because I have a target of 80%. So this is also important to what I'm later down the road. What I'm going to show you into is some on some screens, some layouts. I might be in the green, I might be in the red, I might be in the yellow. That's all based on my own target and my own hours. So let's say I do have, let's say someone working 20 hours a week and I want that person to be 100%. I want their target to be 100%. Their green, their red, their yellow will be very different than my own. Um, Scrolling further down, there are a series of permissions and views and configuration that could just be done directly at the role record. You don't necessarily need to go into the back end of Salesforce. So let's say in a bit, I'll will shortly what I'll be doing is I'll be jumping into a project object. And what I'll be doing is, let's say, showing you through a project. But now, let's say realistically, let's say within the project, I don't necessarily, let's say for certain individuals, I don't want an individual to see billing tab or let's keep billing open. I don't care for revenue recognition or let's say scheduling at a project level or budget. Let's hide these tabs today because I want to kind of say make it a little bit lighter, but just to show you the flexibility that we have in terms of let's say that project experience. Um, Also, I think which I didn't mention is basically I have my own bill rate, I have my own cost rate. This could always be trumped if I'm using a rate card or let's say I'm doing a blended rate within a project. Now, most importantly, what I really want to show you here is the related records. What we could see is I'm related to a forecast, I'm related to some projects, milestones, actions, time logs, all that fun stuff. Really kind of making sure I'm working day to day. But going a little bit lower down, what we can see is I've been assigned some skills and I've been assigned to teams. So what is a skill? A skill could be a certification, it could be a language, it could be a coding language, it could just be I'm a tier one skill person, whatever it is. You are able to kind of get as creative as you'd like with these skills. What we have over here is also a proficiency level. So you're able to qualify your skill with both proficiency level and enjoyment factor. You don't need to, but it is there if you need them. You could also be assigned to teams as well. You could be assigned to, and how you create this up. The team could be a geographic location. It could be, let's say, what kind of say, what's your skill set group, or you're a team of senior, a team of junior, whatever it is. You can set up as you need. And let's say when you are staffing a project, what you are able to do is identify what team, basically you could, let's say, filter, if I'm staffing, let's say a certain action. I'm like, hey, I need someone who speaks French and I need someone who is based in North America. You could filter by these things and choose the appropriate resource with capacity in sight. Also helpful later down the road if I'm looking into my bench. If I want to take a look at my bench and understand, hey, my French speaking North American workers, 6 months from now, what are their schedules look like? You're able to really kind of filter based on these skills and teams. Now, lastly, what I want to show you here is that we have our own PTO holiday object. So a holiday, basically, the reason why I'm even showing you this is because holidays, time off, sick leave are intimately connected with capacity or utilization. Now, if you were to tell me, hey, Julian, we have an external HR solution this is where we log our information, but we wanted to speak to Mission Control. How that would work is basically we would, as a series, basically because we're an ISV and because we're native to Salesforce, how we interact with external systems is through the Salesforce API. So anything that can interact with the Salesforce API can interact with mission control objects. Now, how you want to push and pull, these are all open discussion. But basically, we closely tied into the Salesforce API, meaning anything that can interact with that robust solution so can us. So with that being said, now jumping into some more fun stuff, let's create a project. I have my I have my console open right now. So there's console is a quick, easy way to access different objects and features with the mission control, not needing to really dig into anything. Trying to kind of make it as easy as possible to really interact with the solution. In terms of creating a project. You could always create an ad hoc project on the go. You don't necessarily need to tie in a project to an account or an opportunity, which I will do in a bit. But you could always just create an ad hoc project on the go. You could always clone an existing project on the go, and really kind of have quick access to new projects. But what I'm going to show you today is kind of how we are able to spin a project up from a template at the opportunity level. Really saving time from your delivery team, not necessarily needing to swivel chair between solutions or even kind of create that new project every time. We're really trying to kind of shorten that time to live for your time to live or time to cash for your team from booking a project or booking an opportunity to kind of, let's say, kind of getting that cash. So let's jump into an opportunity here. So October 22nd. Oh yeah. So this is a standard Salesforce opportunity. Nothing really web in our demo, 22nd. Here we go. So this is a standard Salesforce opportunity. Nothing really special in terms of mission control. Every business everyone has their own opportunity statuses, everyone has their own layouts. Really kind of that's the kind of beauty of Salesforce, really kind of personalizing that experience. Now, how do we go from opportunity to project? You know, businesses always say, "Hey, look, we are unique. Every our processes are unique, and they're unlike anyone else." Funny enough, at the opportunity level, everyone kind of is unique, so we are able to match whatever your process is. Um, so there are multiple ways for us to launch a project from an opportunity. Just going into this again, by the way, everything I'm showing you here, everything I'm showing you today is literally out of the box. Nothing is me creating or customizing, or everything here is literally out of the box. If you click get it now, everything here is out of the box. Um, Within basically, let's say how we are able to spin a project for an opportunity, there are multiple ways for us to do this. Um, something that's commonly see is basically being able to link Salesforce products or CPQ products to project templates. So imagine you're able to build a modular project based on multiple products. Or if you were to tell me, hey, Julian, I want those four separate products to be four separate product projects, totally cool. That's fine as well. Every business does it slightly differently. And really kind of you're able to kind of build your projects as you require. You could even, let's say what I'm going to even show you today is kind of keeping it as simple as possible. If you were to tell me, hey, I just want to go in and choose a template that's going to be spun from the opportunity, that's fine as well. So what's fun here is that I'm going to be showing you is that the project right now, the opportunity is associated to a template. What's gonna what's gonna be the catalyst? What's gonna kind of say like drive the project creation is an opportunity status change. Typically, projects are created at closed one. It doesn't need to be closed one. In my environment, it is closed one. So what I'll be showing you here is, let's say basically going here, you'll see I don't have any projects. By moving this to closed one, it's going to take that project template and generate it based on the opportunity. So now, just like magic, we have a project that's associated to this opportunity. In terms of even what is a template? The question that question comes up a lot. Um, it's as simple. There's no dark behind the scenes magic here. Every project can be a template. It's just going into the edit field and identifying it as a template, and any project can become available for you to template and clone over time. And in terms of, let's say, project structures, projects could be as granular and detailed as you need them to be, or as high level and bucket like. If you're just telling me, hey, I just want to build a forecast for let's say a developer for the next 3 months. I want them to be using 80% of their billable, or I want them to do 200 hours over the next 3 months. It could just be this horizontal forecast that will be kind of a project they can log time to. Or you can have both. You can have this highly detailed work breakdown along with these high level buckets. There's no real limitations here. The sky's the limit. And working with our success team, working with our service team, they'll really kind of let's say guide you, educate you, and show you kind of best practices and how to kind of really mirror your business practices, your processes within mission control and really kind of optimizes this flow. So jumping into the project right now, this is where we will have a lot of fun. So in terms of so you see over here, these are the tabs I've left open from the role record. You don't necessarily need to keep all of these there, or you can add more and do it as you please. But what I really want to show you here is also our 7-layer project hierarchy. So above the project, there are 2 layers. There's a portfolio management and program management. Below those, you have our project, like you can see over here. Below our project, you have a phase. Below a phase, you could have a milestone. Below a milestone, you could have a action. And under an action, you could have checklist items. Now, you don't need to use every one of these layers, but they are there for you to use if you need them. You could also see that IF has also associated some hours with a duration to a placeholder resource. I'm going to be able to staff this in a bit, but just to show you kind of all this information came in from the template. And like I was saying earlier, how do we create a template? Jumping into the edit field, going down here, clicking this box, this is exactly how you create a template. So in terms of how do we interact with the project, like I said, we are truly one solution. So every action taken on the Gantt chart, taken on the Kanban, taken on our action pad will affect the other. So let's say going into our Gantt chart over here, this is where I want to um, see a little bit more of that timeline view. So we have our Gantt chart over here, even to speak to the hierarchy that I showed you earlier. So we have our project. Below our project, we have our phases. Below our phases, we have milestones. Below those milestones, we have actions, and below these actions, I could have checklist items. Let's just by clicking this toggle baseline, we can see we have visibility on the baseline that comes in from the project, and you could also see that I have some sorry. I have some dependencies I built out. It's literally just dragging and dropping. If you prefer to use PMP language, you could use the predecessor chart here. But let's say you could also build leads or lags, so a 3-day lag over a 3-day lead over here. But what you'll see here is, let's say it's functional configuration. Let's just say this gets pushed out from the 24th to the 28th. Notice all the other actions on the right of it. Everything will get pushed out in accordance because of these dependencies. What the dependency does is maintain the critical path and the integrity of the project. Now, if you were to kind of say add constraints to something, which is something we could do, you are able to kind of add constraints to either milestones or actions where it's something, let's say start no earlier than, finish no earlier than, start no later than, finish no later than, really kind of adding constraints to the project. Um, Now, in terms of different ways to interact with this, let's say this is our Kanban board. You could always like export, use this collateral as needed. So let's say that if you are leveraging this before closed one, typically what I do, I will pull these Gantt charts and kind of include them into a statement of work or maybe some sales decks, because just kind of showing you timelines and really kind of being transparent with kind of what we are going to be delivering. Now, if you, let's say, tell me I hate Gantt charts and I prefer to live on Kanban boards, thanks to Toyota. Actually, fun fact, Toyota was the company that created the Kanban. Was an engineer at Toyota. So we have our Kanban board over here where we have different views. So let's say if it's important for me to see the priority of different actions, or let's say the status of different actions, and I want to turn this from planned in progress, it's literally just dragging and dropping as you would within any other card like PM solution. Now, let's go into a project that's a little bit more developed. Um, Over here. So something we also have are risks and issues. So now this is something maybe I could even like briefly speak to, is that we have Mission Control has our own Agentforce app. Um, there are basically it's separate from Mission Control. So we have like, our Agentforce apps only plugs into Mission Control, But that app has three main features leveraging AI, Salesforce AI engine. Um, Really kind of saving your project team a lot of time. One is AI generated health checks on a status report, which I'll show you into in a bit. The other is being able to identify risks and then turn them into issues based on previous projects. So, what our Agentforce app is able to do is you would simply ask it, hey, can you identify risks from similar projects of, let's say, this project name? It's going to go look at your previous project history and identify, let's say, hey, these are 7 risks I think you should be aware of based on the structure of this project. And then you could cherry pick and identify which ones I want to import into the project, along with retro board bridge identifying lessons learned from previous projects. We more than happy to if this is something of interest, we're more than happy to kind of say demo this to your team when the time is ready. So going into, let's say, the risk I mentioned earlier. So um, we have our risks over here. Let's say if I jump into a risk, you can see that a risk is assigned, could have an owner, could be assigned to an action, there's assessments, and there's also some countermeasure issues. Now, God forbid this risk becomes an issue. What you are able to do is promote the risk to an issue. And basically, let's say maybe take a step back here, because I mentioned earlier, these are all data points that you can report on. So imagine like a report that could be fun to have within, let's say, an executive board would be a list of all live issues. Who is the owner of the issue? um, what project is that issue associated to, and how many days that issue been around for. So this is just a hypothetical report that could live on a dashboard if you were to leverage, let's say, the mission control within the Salesforce ecosystem. Now, jumping back into our project, in our project, we are able to have expenses, log expenses. We can have purchase orders, chip off the block through the expenses. Again, let's say if your expenses live elsewhere, you're able to push and pull them through the Salesforce API. We have our action pad. Our action pad is, as an individual contributor, this is a great place to see, let's say, filter out and see what I've been working on, what remains, and really kind of giving you that kind of, let's say, ground level view of how do we complete this? How do we deliver this project? Now, jumping into our insights, this is where we have visualization on some important project reporting. So CPI index, SPI index, completed actions. We have a burn down chart, overdue actions. We have some important billable hourly expense information over here, which is kind of fairly important to most PMs. Now, in terms of collaboration, I've been showing you a lot of project information. This is great to consume internally, but how do we express this to our stakeholders, our internal and both internal and external? One easy and very elegant solution is our status report. So jumping into our status report here, this is where we are basically could be generated on through Cadence or however you need, fully white labeled to your organization's requirements, where you could just generate this and have from like the visualizations on how healthy is the project and kind of where the project is at. Now, as I mentioned earlier, kind of one of the core Agentforce functionalities is being able to spin up this through through the agent. Now, let's say without the agent, you could obviously go in and manually create a health check and basically identify what's worked well, what are the observations. Let's say at an individual project level, this might take 5, 10, maybe 20 minutes per project. But if you have a high volume of projects, let's say hundreds of projects or even 50 plus, going through each project, creating these health check does consume a lot of time. And if you're looking to, let's say, save that time and have an agent create these health checks for you, we highly suggest looking into our Agentforce app, which would essentially cost is negligible compared to how much time and money you'll be saving. Going a little bit further, we have, let's say, a little bit more information at the project level. and going deeper into the actual project. So this is very customizable as well. You could change the tabs, you could roll them up. So let's say if you're sharing this externally, you might not want to share a granular level of how everything's going, or even share the name of a resource. Very flexible. There are ways for us to customize this and really kind of make this the right status report for your team. Now, jumping back into the project, last kind of not the last, but something another collaboration tool I want to show you here is our unique URL. So this is a client read-only page. There's no license requirement here. You need to purchase one license for your whole org for this to work because it's a Salesforce site. But every project has their own unique URL, and you could choose what you get to show on it. So in this unique URL, I'm showing a Gantt chart, a Kanban board, and risks. Jumping into those risks, what we'll see here is that jumping into this unique URL, what we'll see here is basically I have this again, it could be fully white labeled to your organization, and you have a link that you cannot edit or interact with it, but you have full visibility on a project's life cycle, and even sharing Kanban and risk if you require. So this is a great and easy tool to kind of collaborate with customers if and kind of maintaining that feedback loop so everyone is transparent and really kind of on the up and up. Now, going into our project over here, let's go back into our webinar actually. Webinar project here. Let's staff the project. How do we get named users from that beautiful bank of resources that I showed you earlier into an actual project? There are multiple ways for us to do this. There is a resource request flow, which makes a lot of sense for a lot of firms. You could do it a little bit more manually, going into the actual action and say, hey, we need to import data. I need to get a consultant here. Or yeah, let's go. I need to get a consultant here. Oh, not here. Go into our resource assignment wizard. So jumping into the resource assignment wizard, I'm able to filter and by team, multiple teams, skill, proficiency, and really kind of find who is the right person. Let's just say I'm like I tell myself, hey, I want to look into my bench of developers um, for this one because I know I'd rather that migration be done by a developer than a consultant. I can search into those developers and see what they are working on. Now, looking into my bench over here, I can see that I have two Chris's. I can see that Chris and Chris are both overworked. They're definitely in the red. Something I should be aware of, and maybe it might not be the best thing for me to actually staff them. And I can see Anthony isn't not working at all. Maybe something else that I should look into. But what I could do is drag and drop Anthony over here. Anthony assumes those hours, and I'm also able to add contributors. I'm able to add as many contributors as I like, and they don't necessarily even take hours. They can take hours if you'd like them to, but basically they become assigned to an action along with the owner. Now, if you were to tell me, hey Julian, we're looking to kind of automate this process. We want the opportunity to close and want the fully project to be fully staffed from the get-go. Possible as well, which is why we have this auto assignment wizard. The auto assignment wizard is an easy way based on weighting so that you could see who might be the best percentage match fit for a project. Go back here. So what I'm going to do is click this button and we have Cosmo, which is our trusty mascot. Um, he is being sent to space. He's blasting off into the world of resource assignments. And what we see over here is basically percentage match fit based on these individual placeholder resources. So you could build in a certain logic being, hey, do not place anyone under a 90% fit or under a 70% fit, however you want to do that. But let's say from directly here, I am able to staff my full project, assign it, and I have a fully staffed project from one click. So saving your resource team a lot of time if this flow would make sense. Now, now that we've assigned the project, I want to go and look at my bench. I want to go see who's working on what, and really kind of interact with it appropriately. So what I'll do is go look at my scheduler. My scheduler is a cool tool because think of it as like a um resource planner meets a Gantt chart that has different functionality as well. It could be very just like a workshop functionality. Um it could be very like as much as like a workshop functionality, but it could be very much just high level bird's eye view. So let's say if I want to go look in here, let's go back and look. Let's go here. Let me go look at my team of actually here next I'll do this here. Go to my hours total. And let's go look at my team of developers like I showed you earlier. So I have, let's say, all my developers here. Then I have those people who are definitely in the red. Colin working 1,000 hours. Colin's funny enough because Colin's our CEO and he definitely works 1,000 hours a week. So funny that my own dev org is showing that as well. But you can see some people are in the red where basically this is something maybe I should take into account. Now going into my action view over here, if I want to lighten the load on certain individuals, this is something I wouldn't necessarily give permission to like everyone within your team. But what we do see over here is basically a list of what everyone's working on, and you see PTO as well. And you could change this from monthly view, weekly view to daily view. And what we're able to do is let's say Bobby, I could see Bobby is taking a bunch of vacation. So I might want to move this project to let's say Bethany. And by moving so, okay. And by moving so basically it has now affected her capacity. Um, you're also able to create actions, create holidays here. It's a very flexible and easy way to interact with your bench and really understand who's working on what. Definitely Maul, there's many people use this slightly differently, and we're more than happy to kind of say jump off the deep end together and really show you how prospects customers are using this. Now within, like I said, kind of showed you everything at the project level, resource level. We have a resource planner. We have a role utilization chart. We have a very deep body of reporting within Mission Control. But something I also want to show you is kind of say everything I've been showing you at the project level. Let's go above a project. Let's go look at a program. So what is a program? A program is a one-to-many relationship. So we have many projects that are related to a program. So this program over here, it's like looking at the data and KPIs the within the program, within the kind of blinders. So you can see here I have a series of projects that I've assigned to this program. This program has a bunch of information that's specific to these projects. So how you want to use that? It could be a vertical, it could be a type of business, like a type of business, it could be a single contract. How they're very flexible. There are no limitations on how you use this, but basically it's a very powerful tool in terms of let's say slicing and dicing your data and your projects to kind of let's say have better visuals. And then basically above a program is a portfolio. So you could have many programs to a portfolio. And going further down, you can see who's working on this program, the risks, issues, all that fun jazz, along with a Gantt chart of just the program. And let's say we have other features and let's say details, all the data points within the program can be found directly from this page. Say now going into my view over here. Let's go. So let's go into the full program view. We have our program over here. Under our program, we have our projects. Under those projects, we have our milestones. And something that we're able to do, even above and beyond outside the program, maybe let's say global Gantt chart. What we could do is um, build inter-project dependencies. So I know that I'm well versed in the Salesforce PSA ecosystem, and building inter-project dependencies is not a common feature. So let's say having though, let's say one project end and another kickoff with a dependent action, we are able to do that. So just like we have this program level view, we also have a global Gantt chart view, giving you full visibility into let's say all your projects. But the fun part here is we have filters. You could save these filters as presets, even within the scheduler I showed you earlier. You could have these really kind of robust and intricate presets that individuals or groups find important. So let's say right now I'm looking at my whole organization, all the projects I'm working on, but I could kind of let's say filter through, and I only want to see let's say planned projects or projects by a certain owner or whatever it is and have them saved as presets. Really being able to kind of slice and dice and really interact with the data as required. Even looking through, let's say, a global Kanban board, similarly to the global Gantt chart, we're looking at all the actions within our organization, and I'm looking at the priority actions, or I want to look at the status of certain actions, or I only want to look at the actions from my let's say my developer team. Really filtering this as required, and really kind of really getting that um, tight control on your project and your statuses. Um, Great for reporting. Let's say if you want to kind of say the great for that kind of that bird's eye view. Now another tool we have, let's say for kind of say individual contributors, let's say at the project level is our uh, yeah. So the last thing I'll show. Oh, no, actually, two things I'm showing you actually. Webinar. So we have, let's say, our action pad, which is a great place for an individual contributor to kind of see what they have on their plate and be able to kind of, let's say, filter out by just that by themselves, their teams, and even take action directly from this page. So something we could do from this page is you actually log time. So there's multiple places to log time. You could do it from the Gantt chart. You could do it from the Kanban board. But let's say if you are an individual contributor and you want to kind of see what are the actions I've been assigned to, and where, and kind of say kind of that full visibility, I could click into any place you see this hourglass. You could log time directly. You are able to log time you're able to log time and qualify your time log. You're able to force notes. You could have notes. You could really kind of use this as required. Now, and let's say if you're for some reason, let's say you are in your opportunity and you're looking to log time, we have a global action button that will follow you um, throughout the platform. Now, as much as we love these beautiful and eloquent ways to log time, realistically, how your team is going to log time is through a timesheet. Um, Timesheets, we have a fairly robust timesheet. Basically, everything you've been scheduled to will populate onto the timesheet. So you don't need to go and add all your projects or actions. Everything will just populate there from what you've been scheduled for. And you see these grayed out numbers over here. This is basically what you need to log time to match what you're scheduled. Again, you could force notes here. Let's say I worked on 3 hours. I could force notes and then log my time directly. We also have a calendar converter. So let's say if you are there are ways for us to, let's say, take events from your Google Calendar or your Outlook calendar and push them into your timesheet. So it requires a bridge, but we do have the actual calendar to push back and forth from. So really kind of if you are creating events that you want to push into your timesheet on your calendar, that's possible, or you could push events from here into your timesheet on your calendar, that's fine as well. And lastly, I guess, well, before I kind of say maybe finish this off with some support articles. Um, so basically we built all this data and we can kind of want to better understand what's everyone working on, or how I kind of say um how utilized are my team members. So I could maybe filter by individual. Let me look at my team of developers, and I want to see how utilized they are from, let's say, this date range. Now, jumping into my role utilization chart, what this is going to show you is no one is looking actually in here. Let me go into project managers because I think I'm the only one I've been logging time to. There we go. So you see basically what I've been working on. So I did take a lot of holiday. I have a fair bit of under 10 hours available within July to October, which is terrible. Probably look into that. But let's say going a little bit further down, you can see, let's say going to myself over here, you can see, let's say how many hours I've logged or how many hours I've been scheduled over these date ranges and making sure I have a target of 80% and I'm definitely not hitting that. So this is a great tool to kind of really understand how successful my team is and how to really kind of maximize every team member. So I just said a lot of words. I could probably say a lot more words for a lot of, like I could just feature them for a little extended period of time, but I'd rather not. I'd rather you maybe reach out our way if you have any other questions, thoughts, ideas, or if you have any thoughts that you maybe like to maybe research yourself. I suggest maybe jumping into our support area on our website. So this is where we have all of our documentation. So at preca.com/support, we have an incredible base of training videos. We have just under 700 knowledge articles over here. We have a user guide, which is it's plain English, linear approach to getting started with mission control. If you want to log a case, if you want to interact with our support team, this is essentially links you to support@aprica.com. Our amazing success team will reach out to you within the day usually. 95% response rates within 5 hours. Um, so with that being said, I've enjoyed this walkthrough together. If you have any other questions, please feel free to add me on LinkedIn. Reach out to our team directly. Within our website, you could definitely request a demo. If you are looking to acquire some mission control merch, if you want this Cosmo plushie, reach out to me directly. We can maybe work something out. I guess with that being said, um, it was a pleasure. Oh, I think I see a question. Hi, Julian. Sorry that I didn't see the question earlier. Um, is there an ability to roll up specific milestones and statuses into a comprehensive customer dashboard? Yes, everything can be built in. Yes, every data point can be built into a live dashboard. But Judy, I'll reach out your way, and I'm happy to have a conversation on this. And with that being said, appreciate everyone's time. Hope everyone has a great, fantastic Wednesday, and hope to speak to you all soon. Cheers. Bye bye.